Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut. I am Drew Garrison in the locker room with Chad Penrod and Austin Sally. Today we're going to talk about UFC 247. We're going to get into Myles Garrett, the Browns defensive end, getting reinstated by the NFL. We're going to talk about the crazy finish to the Duke, North Carolina game. Talk about the UD Flyers and their crazy win streak and what we expect out of them coming forward. Gentlemen, let's get right into it. But before we touch on that, actually, let's talk about something that was a pleasant surprise for me this past weekend, the XFL. Did you guys check any of that shit out?
Yeah, I watched a couple games.
Yeah, I had it on all weekend.
Dude, I watched like every game. It was kind of like a sickness, but I'm telling you what, man, that was actually quality football. That AAF was kind of shitty. This was good, entertaining, watchable football.
It was definitely watchable. I'm not going to say it was it's not the NFL, obviously.
No.
But I do like the things that they're doing, the rule changes and kind of the insights that you get that you don't get with the NFL.
The kickoff is pretty cool to me. I kind of like it.
I think it's kind of neat too.
I was impressed, but I wasn't impressed. If that makes
What do you
sense. So I love the rules. Especially the kickoff. I thought the kickoff rule was great. I think that gives both teams an opportunity there to either obviously you can make the tackle or a real good chance at returning the kickoff.
People don't die.
Like I said, obviously I would never probably get into it the way I did the NFL, but God, the talent level just it's so much lower than it is at the the NFL, and I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I couldn't get into it too deep just yet.
I think the biggest thing is like we don't have that level of investment that we have like you do with
and
the Bengals
that could
like
be
we
too,
do with
yeah.
the Browns. Like
right.
No one is ever going to be those orange helmets on a football field to us. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we give it some time and we do find ourselves a little bit more interested into it. But my favorite thing, I like the kickoff rule, but I love how like when the officials are gathered up and they're
you can
debating
hear what they're
on
saying.
what
Yeah, I really like
it.
that too.
And then the reviews too, you get to hear what they're saying.
The dude with the
booth.
Xbox controller controlling the game.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I mean, we'll never be into it like you guys are the Browns or I am the Bengals, obviously. I mean, it's just we've each got 20 plus years dedicated to these fan bases that are our fans. So, but I mean, just as something to get you by when you're missing football.
Yeah,
I liked
definitely.
it.
Exactly.
It was
and
entertaining.
there's players in there that
Yeah,
Cardell, I'm rooting for him.
I'm a DC Defenders fan. I got a DC Defenders hat. Will be here tomorrow.
I just don't know yet. See, and this is with me, and people might think, what the hell? But where I've suffered so long with the quarterback play of the Browns, it's just there's not any quarterbacks that really stand out to me in the league. I mean, you got. And not to pick on Cardell, because that's the quarterback I like. Obviously, he played at Ohio State, but there's a little 7-yard out route, and he throws the ball at the guy's feet.
Well, I chalk some of that up though. They've only been practicing since November, and I think the quality of play will get better. Matt McGloin balled out for the New York Guardians. I mean,
He did.
yeah, you're not going to see the NFL level quarterback player. They'd be in the NFL. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's just
football.
Because
football.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just such a big football fan. I'm glad there's live football to watch. But watching the AAF and watching this is like a night and day difference to me. It's just the AAF was just cringy.
Well, that's you got Vinnie Mac running the show there.
Yeah, they got a lot of money invested in this.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I heard that they could run this. They have like enough money right now to run this for like 2 or 3 years.
I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a lot better than the first time
without
they did it.
even.
I think that they could make it a lot bigger than what it is, though.
I think they will.
It's going to take one. Once one big guy switches, a big recruit coming out of high school says, "Fuck the college rule. I'm going straight to get paid."
See, I've wondered about that. Can they come straight out of high school there? Because I'm betting you there's something preventing Trevor Lawrence from leaving Clemson right now and going to the XFL.
I don't think that there is anything preventing him.
Besides the money.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
That's
go to
the
the
big thing,
XFL,
right?
you play for $50,000, and he probably makes that at Clemson.
There's just names like, what about Johnny Manziel? I mean,
apparently they didn't want him.
There's going to be in
I
Josh
love it.
Gordon, same thing. These bigger names who can't stay clean in the NFL, I think that they're going to have a shot to come in, and their talent level is just going to be so much greater.
I mean, those are the players I want to see.
I want Antonio Brown.
Oh, God.
in the XFL.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting back in the league.
Think about like older guys too. Greg Olsen, you're on the end of your career. You're not doing much in the NFL.
If you're not doing much and you're getting cut there at the end, you could probably go make the team. Or
You could, but I mean, are these guys that have made millions in their careers at the end of their career, are they going to risk fucking themselves up permanently?
Like
for
I said, I just
$50,000?
think the XFL could just those guys that have been in trouble or done
Yeah, the
some
cast-offs.
stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that it would bring a lot of attention to their league, which I think now that would probably set it over the top.
I think that, like, I know you guys don't watch soccer, but a lot of older guys in soccer, like David Beckham, Ibrahimovic just left the LA Galaxy. They tend to come to the United States and play in the MLS at the end of their career.
Right.
And nobody gives a shit about the MLS unless those big guys are
Right.
playing. So if
Exactly.
they can get a couple guys like that into the XFL.
It's like, I was really looking forward to watching the Tampa Bay Vipers just because Antonio Callaway was on there.
Hey, I don't think he
by
played,
the
did he?
Browns last year, but he's already on IR.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, shit.
They're just, but
Another Tampa
they're-
team to
they're-
throw picks.
now there was a lot of great games.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they were fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I won't the rules and competition as far as those team versus team went there.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. Obviously,
Yeah.
the refs and the microphones and the cameras and all that was great. Like I said, it just it just wasn't the level of play as the NFL.
It's cool though, because like the helmets, have the microphones in, and like a quarterback I heard, I can't remember who it was, and they were just like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I don't know, but it hurts like a motherfucker."
Yeah, that's
and like
it.
the kicker that missed the field goal, the chick's like interviewing him right afterwards, like, "What the hell happened?"
He just
Like,
misses like a 32-yard field goal. She's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I think it's awesome. Like, hey, you just fucked this up for your team. How do
And
you
then
feel?
right before half, he nails a 50-yarder,
Yeah.
and then he's just a completely different person. Yeah.
So I think that's cool. Big shout out to my boy Jimmy Weathers. He's a New York Guardians fan. We play them Saturday. I have adopted the Defenders hashtag, so shields up, motherfucker. Like I said, man, it's never going to be the NFL, but I like it. I have a lot of fun watching it.
Like I said, I'm still debating on picking my team. I don't know if I like the DC Defenders because they're so close and Cardale's there, but I just haven't seen enough yet.
DC's that's where my loyalties are going to lie. I'm going to go with DC. as well.
Geographically, to us in Dayton, Ohio, I looked at it. It was either the St. Louis Battlehawks or the DC Defenders. I actually went with the DC Defenders. They got Tyreek Hill from Michigan. Actually played high school ball here at Wayne. I got an autographed football and picture of him and stuff, so I just decided to go with the Michigan guy and tolerate Cardale Jones.
You went because Cardale's
he's
running
a closet
running the
Buckeye
team.
fan.
I
over
didn't,
here.
dude. Cardale didn't come to play school. Okay, I don't. No, fuck him.
You hear him? He likes the Buckeyes, people.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'd rather root for Iraq.
And for the first time in forever, we had some positive news come out of Cleveland today.
Oh, Baker getting his dick sucked?
Now, we can talk about that too, because I'm curious to the validity of that story, because it's kind of crazy. But Myles Garrett back in action, ready to go for week one after blasting one Mason Rudolph with his helmet.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, he's the defensive game changer on the Browns. I mean, our defense went to shit, which is crazy without a defensive end pass rusher.
We were in the playoff hunt up until that point, and then as soon as he got suspended, the season was over.
I mean, if you think about it, and what people didn't look at, and obviously they won't look at now, is how big of a game that was when they beat Pittsburgh that night. I mean, pretty much dominated Pittsburgh that night, and nobody talked about it because what happened with Garrett
With 8 seconds left or whatever.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a game changer. I guess the biggest question is, I'll answer last here. So did he do enough time, or should he still be suspended? Was there too much time served there? What do you guys think?
Personally, I think it was about just right. They had to suspend him the rest of the year at least, just due to the optics of it, the way it looked. I mean,
that being said, had that happened on Sunday at 1 o'clock, it would not have been as big of a deal as it was since it happened on prime time.
I can see that, but I think it still would have got blown up with the way the internet is, Twitter and all that. But I think that was about right. They suspended him indefinitely with the minimum of the rest of the regular season and playoffs. I think I always knew he'd be back week one. I think they did that to look like they were taking a stance and looking tough. But I think it's about right. I mean, he, as funny as we think it is, and as much as we all can sit here and hate Pittsburgh together, he did smash a dude in the head with a fucking helmet. So I think that they had to be fairly tough, but I always expected he would be back week one.
So I have a couple thoughts on it, and obviously I've got some skin in the game, so it's a little. I'm a little biased. First thing is what made him hit him in the helmet. I mean, we all know what he said after the fact, and everybody says bullshit, but
we'll never know because if Rudolph did say what he said, it was something on a racial level. Yeah, the NFL will never let that out. No. They will never let it be known that stuff is being said on their field.
Just to hit on that part of that real
the guy got punched in the face by a fan and didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, but to hit on...
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, to hit on that part just real quick, I'm a big believer in karma. And the fact that... And I'm not saying he did or didn't say what he said, but the fact that Rudolph then gets benched, just plays terrible, gets benched for a dude named Duck.
Yeah, they don't make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs, and he's, like I said, he's just playing
he
awful.
Sucked.
I don't know.
He sucked, dude.
No, I'm with you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that part too deep.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's for everyone else to discuss. I won't do that right now.
Yeah, it's there.
Fuck Mason Rudolph.
That is there.
So the other thing is he lost about $1.15 million, they said, from his suspension.
He's lucky he's still in a rookie contract, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they would have probably...
Yeah, that would have been a lot more.
Yeah.
Because of the games.
The games, right.
Let me just get this out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but fucking Mason Rudolph sucked before that. He almost got killed playing Baltimore, I think. That shit was weird. But, dude, that dude threw the ball up in the air and got so many, pass interference calls and just cheap shit. He wasn't any fucking good anyway. Fuck that dude.
That's just the Pittsburgh MO.
He can go to the XFL.
He got three passes that had no business being completed or flags, and what do you have it?
Yeah, that dude fucking sucked, but that's not what it's about. I'm sorry.
But as far as timeline... Yeah, it was 6 games. That's what it ended up being. Or?
Yeah, the problem that I have with it still is the fact that they did indefinitely. Just because say the Browns had went on a little run there, and so you're going to suspend them the rest of the year. I mean, say they make win a playoff game, and then you got 7 or 8 games there. When you've seen other players. So, who was the dude that swung the helmet?
Texans guy. I can't remember his name.
Just took it off his head and just fucking swung it as hard as he could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
he didn't hit somebody.
Listen, it needed to happen. He had to be suspended.
Correct.
It's just the way they went about it. They just kind of went against the rules. Apparently there was a rule saying you can't indefinitely suspend a player
for on-field actions.
For on-field actions, you have to give him a certain number. And then
I did see that.
And then they take it to where he can fight it, and then it's still an indefinite suspension.
And they ruled it quickly off his appeal.
And then all that being said, Mason Rudolph's appeal still hasn't even been heard yet for his fine. He got fined, and it still hasn't even been heard.
Well, we all hate the Steelers, but after the way that whole thing transpired, I don't think you guys will. I don't really take too much issue with what Mike Pouncey did. His quarterback just got hit. He's on the ground, and Pouncey comes up shoving people, protecting his quarterback. He got a game. How did Rudolph not even get a game?
Well, Pouncey was stomping on Myles Garrett's head.
And that's enough. Yeah. And
hey, if somebody fucking does some shit like that to me,
I get it, and I respect Pouncey for it, but I'm saying you can't stomp on somebody's head.
And I'm not faulting Pouncey for that. But if I'm going to find a problem with that, which, as humans, that's what we're going to do. How does Mike Pouncey get one game and Larry Ogunjobi get one game for all he did was push Mason Rudolph in the back? Mike Pouncey is fucking stomping on Myles Garrett.
Those are not the same thing.
Those are the same thing according to the NFL. One game? No, what it is the Browns are the Browns and the Steelers are the Steelers, and that's why you get suspensions like that.
Big market matters, man.
Same reason they get the calls that they get.
Exactly.
We all know that it happens.
It's a big market thing, man, but they just got a little, the Steeler way and, all this shit, they're dirty as fuck. They've always been dirty as fuck. They'll knock you out and celebrate over you, or a guy be laying on the field unconscious and they're 30 yards downfield dancing, all the shit we've seen. But the Steeler way comes in when all this shit happens. Fuck you, shut up.
And I'm not even going to just sit here and shit on the Steelers.
I am.
He needed to be suspended.
Absolutely.
He did.
You don't just hit somebody in the head with a helmet.
Yeah.
They had
It's
to
just
do
the
it.
things that are around it. I'm not trying to okay what Myles Garrett did because he deserved the suspension.
It's never okay to hit somebody in the head.
No,
with a helmet.
never. Especially when you're making millions and all that shit. But
Rudolph should have
it's
got a
the
game.
way the NFL went about everything.
How it
that
was
just
handled
leaves a
was
bitter
not right.
yeah, it's
Well,
just
yeah, and look at the NFL's discipline history. There's no continuity to it. There's no.
There's no rhyme or reason. It's like a bingo
each
board. They just pick out a punishment for whatever they feel.
right, exactly.
Josh Gordon got 10 chances to stay in the league. Justin Blackmon failed a couple drug tests. Martavis Bryant failed a couple drug tests, and you never heard from him again. It's like, where's I don't get it. I don't see the difference.
I'm just. I don't know. I'm happy Myles Garrett's back though. I mean
you have to be.
that's huge.
I'm not.
He's in a contract year, so we're gonna see how this plays out. Him being back on the defense only makes it better. That's for damn sure.
In reality, I mean, he's just going to use this as fuel.
Oh yeah, and that's what we want. That's what
I don't want that.
It's just going to benefit us and Joe Burrow.
R.I.P. Joe Burrow.
Hey, Jonah Williams, eat your fucking Wheaties, homie.
Speaking of the Bengals, what do you make of all this Joe Burrow talk, trying to pull an Eli Manning or something?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you saw what I had to say about this. This is the biggest reach and non-story that I have heard in the draft in a very long time. And maybe it's just more amplified around here because it is the Bengals. And, dude, I get tagged in these fucking articles and tweets and all this shit constantly from people. And I fuck with you guys. I love you guys. They're bringing me the news. They know I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. I've been clamoring about it for months. But we have to understand what is going on right now. He is coming off the statistically best college football season ever. Great. He is considered by a lot of people the unanimous number one overall pick. Cool. The Bengals hold the pick. The Bengals have a shitty organization. Let's just call it what it is. They're not known for making big splashes. They're not known for going all out. That's great. I understand that. Joe Burrow went on the Dan Patrick show and said, oh, yeah, you want to go number one? You want to go to an organization that's, dedicated to winning Super Bowls or something to that effect. Don't quote me exactly. And everybody takes that as, oh, he doesn't want to go to Cincinnati. He doesn't want to go to Cincinnati. Did you see that? Oh, my God, he's laying breadcrumbs. He's blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, man. Have you ever watched a guy in a pre-draft interview be like, oh, yeah, I just want to get the money. I don't really give a fuck if we win or lose?
I mean, no.
No. Of course you're going to say you want to win.
It's an interview. You're going to say exactly what you need to say.
When Carson Palmer came to Cincinnati, he wanted to win. When Baker Mayfield went to Cleveland, he said he wanted to win. He wanted to turn it around. And people are like, well, Eli Manning came out and said he pretty much only wanted to go to the Giants. Okay. And John Elway said he wouldn't go to the Baltimore Colts. So we're going back to the Baltimore Colts.
Well, the
Eli thing, using the comparisons here.
The Eli thing, you have to use context because he didn't want to go to the AFC because of his brother.
Exactly.
So that's totally, I mean, that is totally different.
Dude, that's one of the best draft pictures ever, though, is Eli Manning holding that Chargers jersey, dude. He just looks like he has to take a shit. But I just feel like it's such a fucking reach. It's like, oh, well, this tweet from, some guy says the Bengals are considering trades for the number one overall pick. Holy shit.
That's draft.
Every team does
it
that.
It happens every year. Believe us, the Browns have been in the top five. I mean, it happens every year.
The Browns had the Baker Mayfield pick, 2 years ago? Number one overall.
They
took trade considerations.
That didn't happen because nobody thought Baker was going to go first. Everybody knows Burrow's going to go first.
But is he? Is he, though, with Tua checking out healthy and being cleared for football activities?
If the Bengals keep the pick, he's going one.
Yeah.
They're not taking Tua over him. Mike Brown wants to sell jerseys and tickets.
I can't
Joe Burrow, the local Ohio boy.
I cannot believe how many reporters are coming out saying that they would just take Tua over Burrow.
I personally would not. I wouldn't take Tua
I
in the
wouldn't.
first round.
I mean, I would.
Oh, he's a first round.
I would take him. He's going in the first round. I'm saying me personally. I do not like Tua.
I would take him. I would take him in the first round especially towards the back end, or if I needed to trade up.
Let's say I'm Miami and I have 3 first-round picks. Maybe that second or third pick, sure, I'll take a flyer.
If there's no movement in the top 5, no trades, nothing, he will go to Miami at number 5.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
And if I'm a Miami fan, I'm not mad at it. Fuck it. You got 2 other picks.
Well, and then they'll let Tua sit there behind Ryan Fitzpatrick for at least half of the year.
Yeah.
And then you got those 2 other first-round picks. You can grab an O-lineman, whatever else you need.
To the point of the Bengals, though, and I've
what about your boy Carson going in on him?
You know what? this is my thing about Carson Palmer.
What before you get going, what did he say that necessarily wasn't?
He just pretty much
true?
told Warren Burrow. He just said,
I mean,
you're saying what?
What did he say that wasn't true? The Bengals never go out and spend. They don't. I mean,
No. He made valid points. He made damn good valid points.
He made valid points, but this is my thing about Carson Palmer. Okay, he talks all this shit about the Bengals now, and I know the reason that he left was that he didn't think the Bengals were all in on winning Super Bowls. Understandable. He went to Oakland, sucked. Went to Arizona, went to an NFC championship, played pretty well. So I get what he's saying, but now it's just, I think it's an attention grab for Carson Palmer. He's okay, his brother, who played for the Bengals for a little bit as a backup, Jordan Palmer, I don't know how all of a sudden he's the fucking quarterback whisperer before the draft, but
apparently he has been the guy for a while now.
Yeah,
where he just
they say he's a damn good quarterback.
They love working with him,
and apparently he is. But I think this is Carson Palmer trying to be like, look, I was as good as Joe Burrow coming out. Don't forget about me, guys, because he talks all this shit about the Bengals, and that's fine. But this is also the same Carson Palmer that got his trade, went to Oakland, sucked, and then went to Arizona and won exactly one playoff game. One.
Oh, he did. It was only one because I thought he went.
I don't think he went.
He got hurt.
Yeah. That year we thought they were going to.
Yeah, they were.
He blew his knee out again
because
right after a big contract.
He didn't get a start in the playoffs. That's right.
Was it Lindley that played? Ryan Lindley,
think so.
our ex
or was it Stanton?
quarterback, or it might have been just Stanton. That's what I meant.
Stanton.
Yeah, it was one of the two,
yeah.
And both of them were just on our freaking coaching staff.
Carson Palmer is trying to cling to being at the level of Joe Burrow as he won exactly one playoff game after leaving Cincinnati, and Cincinnati had 5 playoff bursts in a row. I know they didn't win. He has exactly one more playoff win in his entire career than the organization that he's shitting on because he wanted out and all this shit. And I think he's reaching for attention. And I said very recently, before he started saying all this, I kind of sympathize with Carson Palmer.
I was going to say, you did say
I was like, now that I'm older, I understand it. Because when he left, I called him a quitter. And then I'm like, okay, I kind of understand what he's going to. But now it's just like, you're overdoing it. I feel like you're just trying to get, I was just as good as Joe Burrow coming out. Don't forget about me. But when you look at it, you didn't do anything either. You didn't win you won one fucking playoff game. Sit down and shut the fuck up and stay out of it and stop being the bitter ex trying to fuck over your ex that's trying to move on. Fuck you.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you because of this reason and how recent this is. I mean, because you're a Bengals fan. But let's talk about him saying that they're not going to spend the money. Let's go to the Bengals defense from 2 years ago to the Bengals defense last year. They went out and spent no dollars. They didn't even help the team. I mean, let's go get B.W. Webb.
What was it?
I mean, just honestly.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And then offensively, they keep the same shit ass line.
What do they do? Let 3 offensive linemen starters: Whitworth, Zeitler, and. Didn't they let one more walk that year?
You're not gonna. No, it was.
I'm not saying you're not. Listen, you're not
going to pay Zeitler that money.
Yeah, but
no, I get that. But like at the same time,
they don't spend.
You don't.
You can't match Cleveland on that. Cleveland was desperate.
No. But listen,
overall though, not just that.
And I know you. I know you have to back your team. But let's. I mean, just think about years. I mean, let's talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We sit there all the time like, what are the Bengals doing in free agency?
No, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to say that's not the case. But Carson Palmer had T.J. Houshmandzadeh, Chad Johnson, Chris Henry, Rudy Johnson when he was at his height, Chris Perry, who was very good as an all-purpose back for a year or two. Injuries kind of took him down.
I'm going to stop you right there.
He had a good defense.
None of those guys did anything outside of
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there and say this. As a Browns fan, and I've told you this before, but the year they play the Steelers in the playoffs, they win the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah,
if
Palmer
doesn't get hurt because
Absolutely.
Carson Palmer was
the best quarterback in the league that year.
Oh my god, defense was good. Yeah, they were winning the championship. I have always said that.
I agree. I think that was the year, and then the dirty hit by
Kimo Van Olhoffen. Rotten hell, you fat piece of shit.
But. Yeah, I mean, so they did build around him there, but he has a point. And when he says that, hey, they're not going to help you, they're not going to spend money on you, because when's the last time we seen them spend money?
Well, I mean, they spent money on him. They gave him big contracts.
But what I see the Bengals do is there's some players that, especially when they get older, that another team is like probably wouldn't pay them that much, and the Bengals pay them. It's like they like to stay in-house, obviously with the coaching, but they also
it's like loyalty to a
yeah,
fault.
it's almost like
It is.
it's almost like just a real bad loyalty that Mike Brown has going on there. That even when a player is just can't even play that good anymore, he gives them the money. That's where he stays.
Let's be real. Let's be real. AJ Green is phenomenal. I love AJ Green as a wide receiver, but it's probably time to just.
It's time to pay him.
You want to pay him?
Yes.
No,
they should have traded him before the trade deadline.
Should have got what you could get.
They should have traded him. They should have traded Dalton.
Yep.
I mean, they
should have.
To me,
Dalton.
they should have traded.
We've seen the Browns for the last 20 years sit there and try to hold on to these random little pieces of talent.
Yeah, and you got to blow the fuck
AJ Green's not a
Instead
random
just-
little piece of talent.
Just blow it up.
Neither was Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
And what did we win?
Well, absolutely. But AJ Green, when you have a rookie quarterback coming in, I want him to stay, and I want him to be the safety.
We use
line.
that same logic with Joe Thomas protecting the blind side of our rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you guys kept drafting shitty quarterbacks. We're getting Joe Burrow.
You don't know nothing.
Deshaun
man.
Kaiser. I mean,
You just don't know yet.
Yeah, Colt McCoy, Brady Quinn.
I get what you're saying. You want it, but there's that loyalty thing again, though. Because
where are they going to go replace
we sat
AJ
there
Green?
and we all talked, and we talked about this guy can't even stay on the fucking field
How
no
many
more.
games has he played the last 2 years?
No, I understand that. That's completely true.
And you can still get a first out of him. What happens if he gets hurt this year?
Who was offering a first?
Oh, my God.
You got a second at minimum. So,
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're going to
They could have got a first easily. I guarantee the Packers and the Patriots had a first
Packers
laying on the table.
especially, I think, could if he walks, I think the Packers are going to be a prime team to poach him.
Maybe it's a loyalty thing in me as
It
a
is
fan,
a loyalty thing to you.
but keep him, especially now. You didn't get anything for him, so keep him.
He's what you say. I'm trying to remember I think you do say AJ Green. You know, you say it wouldn't bother you if he went and won a thing.
No, not at all.
That tells you right there that it's I don't want to say selfish. I mean, it's not selfish, but
it's like a personal
it's your
attachment.
fanhood. Yeah, it's your exactly.
Well, it's like you guys and Josh Gordon.
Exactly. Well, no, it's even less than it's our attachment to Josh Gordon is way less than what you have with AJ because he stayed on the field and bought out. It's Joe Thomas. We're Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, that's fair.
You're AJ Green.
Exactly.
And I understand that, but you want to see those guys go win something because they've been so loyal to the city and to the fans.
Yeah, he wasn't an asshole.
But there does come a time. It doesn't matter. This is a business. Football is a business to where you just got to cut ties. And if the Bengals were offered a first for AJ Green last year and they didn't take it, shame on them.
I want to know that actually happened because I didn't see anything.
Even a second.
He never got cleared.
I'm
how
saying,
are they going to offer a first if this dude's never even got cleared to play football?
He never even got put on IR.
Yeah, but he never got cleared to play. He went back to practice one time and aggravated something.
There's
and they
more.
said he
There's
never
more.
got
There's
cleared.
more to
There's
that.
more to
that was a money thing. Guarantee that was a money thing.
Wow, he got paid.
He's not going to go risk getting hurt.
Then why wasn't he on IR?
I wouldn't either.
Then why wasn't he on IR?
Exactly.
That's the Bengals' fault. They lost a roster spot the whole year.
Because I don't know if he was ever in a position where he couldn't come back. I think it was the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he wasn't going to come back and they knew that, why didn't they put him on IR then?
I don't know if it was contract talks. I don't know what.
I'm
not inside the building. I don't know, but it makes zero sense for a hurt player to stay as a roster spot. Why would you do that?
Well, the Bengals are fucking stupid.
Unless you're thinking that you're going to be flipping him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
okay,
you're not going to trade him on the
AJ was
IR.
going to miss, 4 to 6 games?
Yeah.
That's what we thought.
Right around there.
And then the trade deadline hits at what, week 9, 10?
8 or 9?
8, yes, between 8 and 10, somewhere around there. So you're expecting, 2 games. You don't want to throw them on IR where they have to miss 8 games.
Right.
So then if you're planning on him coming back after 4 or 6 games, and then he's like, no.
He was supposed to come back after the bye.
AJ had nothing to prove.
Right.
He had nothing to prove.
No, he had everything to lose
for a team that was going, heading down the path of the first overall pick.
Yeah, he had nothing to gain, everything to lose.
No, exactly. So, I think it was on him, and I think it came down. I think had they have paid him, he'd have been like, okay,
yeah,
and he would have played. But he's going to get. I think he's going to get franchise tag.
Well, that's the thing.
Just because of Mike Brown. I mean, he
should
franchise that whole fucking team if he could.
I think the wide receiver.
Well, that's not true. He doesn't hardly use the franchise tag.
No.
It's
because
it's so expensive.
Is he's coming? It's the loyalty for the players that he has.
So he's going to waste $15 million. I believe the wide receiver franchise tag.
I thought it was higher.
It might be higher.
I thought it was like 20.
So upwards of $20 million on a 31-year-old.
31.
Yeah, 31-year-old wide receiver who's played like 2 games the last
I mean,
season.
my point
franchise
is this: is Look at the players. Why didn't you trade Geno? In my opinion, this is one that you could argue with. Dunlap. I would have traded Dunlap. I would have traded Andy Dalton. I would have traded AJ Green. I would have loaded up and did exactly what Miami did.
Yep.
And because Miami's down the right, look, they got three first round picks.
In the next 2 years, they have like
seven a coach
in the first
and
two
a
rounds.
coach that I love.
That team was supposed to be 0-16 before the season. Everyone talked about them being 0-16. They rallied around him,
and they beat the Bengals, a team
fucked
that was
themselves.
trying to win.
They did. I mean, they did. But that's that caveat of: do you want guys buying in, and
Right.
you want that locker room morale to go up, or do you want the better draft compensation?
And the Burrow thing keeps coming back to the Bengals or Miami. What has Miami done in the last 10 years to prove themselves any more of a competent organization than Cincinnati, though? I like Flores. It's his first year as coach. I think he's really good. But, I mean, look at the last 20 years. What have they done that's any better than what the Bengals have done? They're always searching for quarterbacks. And
The last about 5 years, I think they've been plagued with some bad luck.
Yeah.
Trading for Josh Rosen?
Well, that was stupid. But Tannehill, every time he comes back, he plays well, then boom, hurt. Plays well, boom, hurt.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact numbers, but I saw something in the last 10 years because it was on Twitter. The Bengals have a better record by like 10 games, more playoff appearances, and more division championships than the Dolphins do in the same time span.
And look who's been running their division for the last 20 years, though. You got to take that into account.
That doesn't affect all your wins and losses. It's two a
to
year.
me, it just comes down to the Bengals and a loyalty thing. I mean,
no, you're right.
just because. I mean, if you ask me from an outsider looking in, Andy Dalton should have been gone a long time ago. And the question does arise, like, okay, well, who are you going to replace him with? Well, that's why you draft and free agency or or
quarterbacks don't
whatever.
hit free agency like that though. Except this year, there's gonna be a lot this year.
Well, there's a few out there every now and then.
The thing is a lot of teams fall into the trap of just trying to hold on to guys like, oh, he produces, we got to keep him, he'll help, rather than we got to reset this culture. We've fallen into a culture.
Well, there's no resetting that culture until Mike Brown dies.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, from what I heard, Mike Brown was going to take a step back.
I've been hearing that.
But so if that's the case, you need to get that whole toxic thing out of the locker room. You got to blow it up.
I don't think they had any locker room issues.
They say that. You don't. Even the Browns. I mean, we didn't hear about locker room issues, but then they blow it up and things. You start to see some turnaround. The guys are gone. Oh, this happened in the locker room. Freddie was an idiot. This happened. Blah blah blah. Whatever the case is.
Everybody saw.
You don't know with Zach.
You have to realize when your roster isn't going to get you there, when you're not going to win Super Bowls, you have to accept that reality. It's time to just blow it up.
Exactly. And my only point.
Any of those guys can go.
And my point with the whole Carson Palmer take was exactly that, though. All you got to do is look at the defense the last 2 years, and it's like the same fucking guys.
Yeah, but what the fuck has Carson Palmer been doing? Now he wants to pop up and start talking shit again?
I think
because somebody's about to get drafted?
Because whenever you say Carson Palmer, you don't think of Arizona.
Or Oakland.
When you say Carson Palmer, he's one of you.
Yeah.
He's a Bengal. I mean, that's what you
think. He's not.
That's like when
fans.
Joe Thomas gives a take. He's a Brown, so you listen to it. I mean, right now you guys are very bitter. You're a bitter franchise because things haven't been going the way that they're supposed to go. So
I'm just saying, why start shitting on them now that they have the pick and there's a quarterback in the talk?
I don't know necessarily that he was shitting on them.
I mean,
more than pointing out. I mean, he was in the building. He understood. Like he's trying.
He knows them. It's the same group of people.
He had better rosters.
And I think all he's doing is saying, Burrow, watch out.
Just like heads up. This is what I experienced.
And all of a sudden, he has this attachment to Joe Burrow to try to look out for him.
But somebody,
quarterbacks, they're
brothers. That's not like he called up Stephen A. Smith like, "Hey, I want to say this about Cincinnati." They are asking him these questions.
Well, of course they are.
Right.
So
they're going to bait him into it.
Right.
I just don't think that he had. I don't think there's enough credibility because when he was still a Bengal,
I think there's plenty of credibility.
He didn't do shit when he left, and when he was still a Bengal, you would laugh at all the shit he throws. He did, and he's throwing the ball in front of people, and he's overselling people.
I wasn't laughing at the injury, but what he became after the injury. But we all just talked about before the injury. They were the best quarterback in the league.
05 for sure.
I just think I don't know. To me, he's done plenty for the Bengals. I mean. We could think differently there, but I just think when I think of Carson Palmer, the team that comes to mind is the Bengals. And when that happens, you have enough credibility with me to be like, okay, yeah, you're one of us, so we
He's not one of us, though. That's the thing.
Disagree because
he
last
quit
week
on
he
the
was.
team. What happened last week?
When you were talking about
I'm saying I understood what he was saying.
These are the same things.
Now,
these are the same things that you understood are the things that he's saying, and now you don't understand it because he's coming out publicly and saying it.
He said it 10 years ago when he retired. I don't see why you have to regurgitate it now. I think it's just like, hey, don't forget me. I was there too. Remember me?
I don't think
Because
this is an
Cincinnati
attention grab for him.
Cincinnati hasn't been in a position to pull in a highly coveted guy like this. Like,
yeah.
they've. I mean, nobody gave a shit about what they do in the offseason because they've been that.
They don't do
that
nothing.
Cusp 10-win team, 9-win team that goes to the wild card, and unfortunately they lost. I mean, I'm not shitting on them.
No, they lost every time.
Right, but like nobody cared.
Right.
This is the guy who just had the best college football season that we've ever seen.
So let me try to fuck over my ex to make sure that they don't get him.
They're
That's like, what the fuck,
I
dude?
just think he's saying. I think he's just saying.
When was the last Carson Palmer interview anybody heard before that?
But it's because he was the last main, like, big headline quarterback to be in Cincinnati like that.
I'll take Carson Palmer in his prime 1,000,000 times over Andy Dalton, but
Well, no shit. That's not even a comparison.
well, he sees it in Burrow. I think he sees Burrow's going to be.
He didn't go to the playoffs as many times as Andy Dalton did.
I think he sees Burrow as the next big thing, and he's just saying, "Hey, watch out for this." But
I think
anyway,
he's the crazy ex-girlfriend that doesn't want anybody to move on.
The caveat is you have to keep in mind they're asking him these questions.
Right.
They're trying to pull these headlines in to get people like us talking about
and
it.
he's fallen into their trap then.
So let's get away from Drew's bitterness.
Fuck you, Carson.
And let's transition this thing to let's talk about the only team that we all three agree on, the Duke Blue Devils.
Let's go.
And the big, I don't know what you want to call it, a shot, the putback, the
Trey Jones has a huge cock.
Trey Jones also airballed that.
It was a
But
pass.
let's talk about the free throw. I mean, the whole thing was fucking awesome.
We all watched that one together. First one we've watched together in a long time.
So we were at Frickers watching the Duke and UNC game, and then obviously the Jones fight after that.
We put in like 8 hours like we worked there.
But what an ending. And, the one thing I want to talk about, obviously we have a lot of listeners that ain't going to care about Duke, so we'll kind of keep this short. But the big thing there, why we would even touch on it, is the rivalry. Okay, this is Ohio State and Michigan of
in
college
basketball.
hoops,
and it was the best ending ever.
Oh, and the ending,
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and everyone's talking about it because it is that big of a rivalry.
Yeah, even if you don't like Duke or North Carolina either, you care about the game. You take note of the game.
This is a top 2 sports rivalry in all of sports.
And Drew said it here at the beginning. Trey Jones, man, but. And he did pull his dick out there at the end. She showed how big his balls
18
are.
of the last 21.
In overtime, he kind of
he got hit in the face and it fucked with him.
He kind of got in, where you're hot, and now you think you're going to shoot everything, and you're like, fuck, man, that ain't going in, that ain't going in, that ain't going in. But there for a minute, as tough as this is going to be to say, I thought Coach K was going to give it away.
Oh, no.
When he stopped fouling and they were missing free throw after free throw after free throw.
We got bailed out.
Yeah, and there's like 40 seconds left, and he lets them
play out on a 30-second shot clock.
Run off.
That made me nervous there. I was like, no fucking foul them. Like, we're getting everything, and they can't make a free throw. Like, let's just keep fouling them.
Well, we were down 10 with like 4 minutes left with a 30-second shot clock, and we're like, shit, boys.
It's over.
And we just couldn't break 10. It was like, fuck. And then, but like I said, that's what the rivalry's about. And
what a finish! That's right up there with the Austin Rivers finish.
And it was on the Austin Rivers anniversary.
The anniversary.
Yeah.
I think
you kept saying that all
anniversary.
game. You're like, no, we're going to win. And you were right.
Yeah.
And fuck that lady that was screaming for North Carolina at Frickers. We were pretty quiet, and then she started yelling. So I said, hey, guys, let's start yelling too.
But to me, that's what just makes rivalry so crazy is the fact that, Duke is the 7th team in the nation, and
UNC was what?
UNC was 10-12.
In a very down year for them. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. They dominated damn near the whole game, getting whatever they want. And then at the end, they just couldn't hit their free throws. Is all it comes down to.
So big testament to Coach K, and we talked about this a little bit on Saturday. I know we thought he was going to give it away, but man, ever since this one and done thing has really taken hold in college basketball,
he's had to transition.
It's been a lot of young teams.
It took him a while to embrace it.
Usually, those young teams don't have the resiliency to keep fighting and clawing back. And then even once you do get clawed back and you tie it up, and then you burn all your energy and you can't follow through in overtime. Man, he kept those guys in it, and they rallied back. Even in overtime, they started off strong and then they fell apart. Couldn't make anything, and somehow still pulled it off.
The tip in, and I said this Saturday too. This one and done thing. Coach K didn't really embrace it until Kyrie Irving came around because I think Coach K was like, I still want my guys that have come here for their 4 years. And then he knew, okay, if I want to win, I got to embrace this.
Or you don't stand a chance.
And I hit on this Saturday when we were all together. It's hard when you get these one-and-done guys in here in a rivalry game like that because it's almost like they don't get it. Your J.J. Redick's, your John Shires, your Plumlee brothers, they were all in it for 3-4 years. It's almost like the one-and-done guys don't get it. They know it, but they don't get it. And he kept them in there. He kept them fighting and fired up.
And not only that, it's basketball. That's why come playoff time, you get 7 games.
Yep.
And anything can happen in basketball. You're a shot away from, upsetting a team.
And that's what's so great about the NCAA tournament that's coming up, man.
Great.
One
I
game
cannot
for
wait.
it all.
Because this year it's wide open. There's no favorite.
Yeah, there's no true favorite this year.
We'll have two big horses in the race between the Blue Devils and the Flyers. It's going to be awesome.
Let's talk about the Dayton Flyers. Last night, man, beat Rhode Island 13 in a row, dude.
Dude, they are on fire, and they are fucking good at playing basketball.
Dude, Obi, man, he is.
Obi top end. But one thing that I thought was kind of cool about them, man, they're a small school. All things considered, when you're looking at a team that's ranked 6th in the nation,
right?
You're used to seeing your Dukes, your Kentuckys, your Kansas, but I mean, Toppin averaging 19.7 a game, Crutcher 14.7, Watson 11.1, and Trey Landers, Dayton, Ohio boy, averaging 11. So 4 of the 5 starters are averaging in double figures.
Yeah. No, they're fucking loaded, man.
Anthony Grant, what a hell of a job coaching. That's exciting. They're talking about them possibly getting a 1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think as of right now, for what they're doing, and if, they were to lose a game here or there, I got to think they're either a 1 or 2 or at least a 3 seed. At
the worst.
At the worst.
Yeah.
And which means, those top schools being a top school this year, you're going to make some kind of run, you would think.
Yeah, and looking at
and they bring it every night.
I mean, going back to the beginning of the season, the Maui Invitational, they went toe-to-toe with Kansas.
Yeah.
And damn near beat them.
Probably should have beat them.
Probably should have.
Oh, they should have beat them. Who's did they beat in that? God, they beat somebody before they got into to Kansas.
Yeah, to somebody to get to them. They were
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they beat Virginia Tech, and the Virginia Tech was kind of at a preseason hype team. They haven't really played out all that well. But yeah, they took it to them. I mean, they beat Georgia. So some of the bigger name schools that you'll hear. I mean, these guys are just
and they're
balling.
Clearly the best team in the Atlantic 10 because let's see, Rhode Island. What was Rhode Island? Was they was it 19-5 or?
Yeah, and they beat the shit out of Rhode Island.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, dude, and they put it on them. They was up by 20.
They were 18-5 coming into the game, and I mean 81-67. I mean, just put it on them.
Yeah, that's a beatdown.
Yeah,
that's somebody where we can all kind of rally behind. We're Duke fans, but I'll never root against the Flyers.
No, hell no.
And my dad works down there at the arena, so he's kind of closely intertwined with it. He talks to the players a lot of the time. The arena, one of the best basketball experiences that I've been to. I've been to NBA games, but man, for a small college, the environment that you see inside UD Arena for a game, they're all selling out. Resale sites on Vivid Seats. I looked today just out of curiosity. Tickets up in the upper levels are going for like $95.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say next, man. You're playing damn good when ticket prices are up there for a small school like UD.
Yeah,
I could have got those tickets last year for like $12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and if you had never been to a UD game, man, it is fun. You need to get down there and support the Flyers because that is a hell of a time.
And the arena looks beautiful. They finished up all the renovations. It was about halfway done last season. They finished it up before this season started. It is beautiful down there, man. The first 4 is always good there. Dayton is a good basketball city, and the Flyers are for real. I don't think they get a 1 seed.
I don't know.
I think they could run the
2.
I think they could run the table and still not get a 1 seed because the committee's going to be like, their strength of schedule isn't all that great.
They just need some help.
Yeah, they could get some help if some teams drop some games.
Yeah. And there's going to be the teams. Like we just said, it's wide open.
Yeah.
All those teams in the top 6 aren't winning out, and like you said, the Flyers with the strength of schedule have a damn good chance to run the table.
I'm looking at a 2.
Yeah,
I would expect it 2.
I would think a 2. Like I said, at minimum a 3. But I think they get there to a 2, and then play a 15th ranked team, and I think they make a run. I think they're going to go deep, man. Just because, man, they play and they play every night.
I'd say a minimum of Sweet 16.
Yeah, no, I could see it.
Man, you remember when they went to the Elite Eight?
Oh man, that was a good time.
Blast.
We all acted like we went to school there and shit.
That was years ago.
I think that they could make at least a Sweet 16 run and possibly more. I'll root for UD, like I said, through the whole tournament, and then if they play Duke, I'm going to have to make that tough decision.
No, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah,
if that was to happen. I'll sit back and enjoy it.
I'll wear my Duke hat and my UD shirt or something.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
It's one of those sports where you you have your big time team, and then you always root for your hometown. But yeah, man, get out to a UD game if you can find tickets without breaking the bank, or if you want to, man, it is worth it. It's fun. I'm looking forward to rooting for them all the way through, and
Yep,
give me Duke or UD.
Got about a month to go. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's some of the best times of the year, man.
But into the biggest news of the weekend, the biggest event, John Jones.
UFC 247, right?
Yep, 247. Dominic Reyes giving him all he could handle, or did he? I'm not sure.
There's a lot of
controversy
going on out there, man.
So what do you think? I mean, first of all, how did you score the fight?
Okay, so I thought Reyes definitely won rounds 1 and 2. To me, it was 2. I don't know. I thought John Jones, one of those rounds, he could have got a 10-8. I'm talking
4 and 5.
4 and 5. So I got 1 and 2, 4 and 5, and you could be right. Maybe it was the third round, one of those rounds. But there was a round that was up in the air. I think that round, Reyes out significant strides. I think he outstruck Jones. But I think Jones is dead on when he says he kind of gave up. Reyes gave up during the championship rounds.
John pushed the pace.
Yeah, well, he did the whole fight.
I mean, the forward percentage, John Jones was in the 70s or 80s, and Reyes had single digits.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to say Reyes came out and pushed his pace. He did that for about the first 2 minutes of the fight, and then after that, John Jones.
He got gassed.
I don't know how you can watch that fight and really say, all right, Reyes
deserves to take that title.
Yeah.
Like, no.
And that's the thing,
A lot of people did.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if that isn't for a belt and that's not John Jones, or that's not a guy that's had, the belt as long as John Jones has had it.
Which is now the record. Most title wins ever.
Right, the record
Defenses.
now. And that's just 2 fighters fighting, and then the judge's scorecard doesn't really matter. But when it's something that close, like we said, 2-2, you got that second or third round that's up in the air, and it's very close like that. As a judge, I know if I was a judge, I don't want to take the title from the champion if he hasn't clearly lost it.
Yeah, you can't.
And Ariel Helwani, he does his show every Monday, and man, he is not a fan of how it went down. He had the fight 3-2. I think Dana White had the fight 3-2 in favor of Reyes. Reyes.
Oh, really?
Joe Rogan thought it was 3-2 for Reyes.
Oh, wow, some big names.
I mean, it's crazy how many people really thought that. They all thought the first 3 rounds all went to Reyes, and it's like people are seeing the significant strike count
and thinking that's it.
And that's how you win a fight. You throw the most significant strikes and land.
And even though Reyes got up, they're not taking John Jones takedowns.
Right.
They're not taking the fact that he
pushed the pace and controlled
the entire
the octagon.
Time. There's so much more into it. Had it have went 3-2 Reyes, I mean, I can't sit here and say I'd be mad about it.
No, because it was close enough.
Yeah, it was close enough.
Right.
But like I said, I'm the point where you don't take the belt from a guy like John Jones.
Round 2. So I had the fight. Round 1, I think, was obviously a 10-9 for Reyes.
Yeah.
Round 3, I thought was pretty clearly Reyes' round. 2 was the one that was the big toss-up for me. But because it's a toss-up, and the way that John was, like I said, controlling the whole octagon, I edged it to him. So going into round 4, I had it 2-1 Reyes. And then John obviously won rounds 4 and 5. I mean, those weren't even close.
Yeah. I do agree with the people that are going out on the judge that had it 4-1, 4 rounds to 1 to Jones. I mean, I don't know what you're watching there. I mean,
yeah, there's a problem with having it at 4-1, but the reality is, had that judge even said, "Oh, I thought Reyes won 3-2," it wouldn't have mattered because Jones still wins by split decision.
Or split. Yeah, I mean,
I think that people just hate John Jones so much they don't like
People, it's like we always say with, basketball players and football players. People don't like greatness. They like to, I don't know, it's like they like to see it come to an end.
Everyone loves the underdog.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why everyone roots against LeBron and root against the Patriots and Tom Brady. I get it. I mean, I really do. But John Jones is just different, man. I mean, this is the best pound-for-pound fighter I think ever.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's definitely the best fighter that I've ever watched.
And to try to say that he deserved to lose the title on that close,
he did.
I couldn't say that.
No.
Now, what I would like to see next for John is they keep talking about the rematch. I don't know. That fight, 5-round fight, wasn't entertaining to me. I mean, it was, but it wasn't at the same time.
I see Corey Anderson and Reyes fighting for the next title shot.
But I would like to either see John's fight. Stipe or Cormier.
Stipe's a bad motherfucker.
I would love to see.
The thing is John.
He's got to go up, man. The light heavyweight division is just.
It's
not
that great.
Was.
There's no names there. There's no name. There's no star power. He's beat them all.
Yeah. What else can you do there?
So the thing
it's like McGregor. Like, dude, take that McGregor approach, man. That's going to make you even bigger.
Yeah.
And make your checks fatter.
Because he's not getting paid like.
No, hell no.
Like
Nobody
McGregor.
wants to. That's like I said when we've told the listeners about this. We take turns all buying the pay-per-view, and we thought that was a pay-per-view. It was like, I don't really want to pay.
Because we know
$70 for that. Let's go to Frickers and watch it.
GSP coasted at the end of his career. He held guys down and beat the crap out of them. He knew he was winning on points. John Jones in the light heavyweight division knows he is winning on points, so he will outpoint you. He knows how to bend the rules, the oblique kick that everybody hates, the hands, the crossface, all of it. Everybody hates it, but he knows how to win.
Yeah,
he is the best technical fighter I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He's very technical and tactical with how he goes about it. He doesn't have that knockout power. You didn't see any of that, but he just worked it correctly. And like I said, he pushed the pace. And he even said, "Don't be mad at me. Be mad at his, Reyes' training staff. He got gassed and decided to run.
He did get gassed.
I mean, his punches were slow.
Terrible. I could have ducked him.
Gassed.
Yeah.
You could see it. So who do you want him to fight next? I mean, what do you want to see? Do you want to see Corey Anderson?
The thing is John has got to fight someone he respects because otherwise a Reyes, a Santos, an Anderson
could upset him.
They're going to upset him because he's not taking it serious. He knows he's not. If he puts all of it, if he puts his all into these fighters, if he rematches Reyes, because if he's
now
forced,
he's got his respect.
If he's forced to rematch Reyes, he's going to kick the dog shit out of him.
Look at Alexander Gustafsson.
Right. The second time they fought, he could do nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Because John, if you're going to make John take it serious and really, really come at you, you're not going to win.
And actually, now that you say that, I wouldn't mind seeing him do that just to
shut everybody up. Exactly. That's my thing.
But if they're going to do that, do it fucking quick.
Yeah, give me it in the next 3 or 4 months. Don't drag this out.
Don't drag it out because I won't buy it again.
He knows he's got a bang if he gets in the octagon with Stipe, though.
Dude,
Stipe's a fucking animal.
Hey,
dude.
Listen,
I got some friends who think that John Jones bulks up to 240 or so and just beats the fuck out of Stipe. I'm telling you right now, that is not going to happen.
I don't think he beats the shit out of him.
Stipe is a bad motherfucker, man.
I won't say he'll lose, but, man, Stipe is a bad boy.
It's just, like we said, me and you, big Cleveland everything, Stipe being from there, we've kind of,
adopted him.
You adopted him, jumped on his back, whatever you want to say. Yeah, but no, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Stipe fan, but, man, that'd be a fight. And if John could stop Stipe, that would be big too.
That would be the
that's gonna pay so much money.
Oh, that is gonna be so my thing is, if I'm
I'd
John Jones, I think the way that I do this is I'll give you your rematch, Reyes. Let's do it in the next few months. Then let's end the fight with that huge fight card like they always do.
Yeah.
I'll headline that with Stipe. Mm-hmm. I finish this fight. It's over. The conversation is over about the greatest of all time.
What is Stipe's move? He ain't fought in a while. I think he's recovering, right, from an injury or something.
He's gonna need a warm up fight.
So is he fighting Cormier again, or after a trilogy, or
they've gone back and forth, and quite honestly, if I'm Stipe, all the shit that DC talked about, he's not good enough to beat me.
Why would you give him that?
I'm not giving you the fucking
no, fuck
rematch.
no. I don't think I'd do it either.
Yeah, no, I'll wait for John.
I kind of thought Cormier was semi-retired. I saw him. Well, I don't know if it was his last one or the one before.
He can't decide.
He looked fucking fat,
Dude,
though.
he's big.
He's a heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight, but
heavyweight.
He didn't even look in shape. I kind of thought he was like half. I'm done.
If you listen to what he was saying about Stipe, Stipe is a great fighter. It's like he's saying he respects him, but then he's throwing shade at him, which tells me he doesn't really respect him. And saying he couldn't do this, that, and the way Stipe did that with body shots was just fucking amazing, man.
Now, I do want to say the thing about Stipe is and I hate
he leaves his hands down,
dude. He has no head movement. He just fucking sits there. He's gonna hit you,
and you're gonna hit him.
Yeah, and you just better be able to fucking hit harder.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it comes.
Yeah,
down
no,
to.
you're right, man, and I can't believe he hasn't been knocked out more, because that reminds me so much of Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
At one point, it's just, man, you're just gonna start fucking.
One of us is
that
going
alarm
down.
button.
One of us is going down.
Man, Chuck got that glass jaw at the end.
Man, he couldn't stand in the fucking octagon with anybody.
No,
but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really want to see the rematch again. Just I guess because Reyes isn't just a big name, and John Jones has just been fucking
walking through
everything. The one match I would have been interested in. Who did Corey Anderson just beat?
Johnny Walker.
I would have loved to see Johnny Walker.
Corey Anderson is a wrestler. This guy has no striking ability.
Yeah.
I put that in quotes. I'm not saying the guy wouldn't whoop my ass, but
right.
The guy is not known for his striking ability, and Johnny Walker's supposed to be this, John Jones light kind of. Yeah. He can do it all: elbows, punches, kicks. He comes out there and gets his face beat in by Corey Anderson.
And I think if they rematch that, I think Johnny Walker would kill Corey Anderson.
It should be different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was humbling for Johnny Walker. I think he needed that.
And I think he did too. So, that's what I'm interested in, but that can't happen without Corey Anderson going first.
Yeah.
So maybe you said Corey Anderson and Reyes, go at it. Maybe John jumps up to fight or however he did it. But I just think he has to start taking the Conor McGregor approach and going to another division.
Champ.
You just said that you're the best light heavyweight to ever do it. You just set the record. Now what? Now let's, dude, put that money in your pocket. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know. It's scary to go up to light heavyweight because anybody can get knocked out. Or I'm sorry, to go up to heavyweight because you can get knocked out at any time
by anybody.
Anybody, yeah. Because there's just so much more power up there. But one thing that's driving me crazy, and the last thing I want to say in the light heavyweight division, is why is Santos not talked about more? That's who John fought last,
right?
And he gave John a fight. He didn't land a lot of strikes, but he was on one leg.
One leg, yeah.
But man, even on one leg, that was.
I just think that's what is happening with John right now in that division. I think it's just
he beats
John's
you and
just
you fall off.
You fall off, and you got to work your way up, and nobody's even working their way up, and now DC's left the division and went to heavyweight, and I just think that's just where the light heavyweight division is right now.
Yeah, there's only 2 money fights left for John. It's Stipe. Well, I'm sorry. There's 3. If he fights DC again, and then if Israel comes up to 205.
Yeah.
Those are the only fights for him.
Hasn't there been word that John might attempt to go down a division, which I don't think is going to – I don't know. I just can't see it.
I can't see him going down.
Yeah. But I think that's middleweight, right?
Yeah, 185.
I think that there's been talk that he could cut and go down to.
I think that he could. He's got the weight.
Yeah.
to lose,
Now, I'm now, man. You want to talk about an exciting division there? That middleweight. Shoot, man. You go down there and dominate those boys, and you're definitely.
I'm sure we will touch on this more in a couple weeks before the Israel and Romero fight. But man, Israel has got a challenge coming up with Yoel Romero.
Man, that dude is fucking strong.
43 years old, and the dude looks like a Greek god.
And my take, quick shout out to John Jones' parents, Chandler Jones, Arthur Jones, and God, what's the other brother's name? I'm drawing a blank. Chandler, Arthur,
and John.
And John. Yeah. I don't know what they got in their food or whatever.
Jesus Christ, can you imagine what that house was like? Them boys fighting all the time.
That had to be some aggressive fucking.
Dude. Yeah, I'm sure that was crazy.
Yeah,
dude, those parents are set for life. Props to them. I think that's about all we got for this time here. Nothing huge coming up this weekend. XFL is going to be back on Saturday and Sunday. I'll tune into that. My Defenders are going to take down the Guardians. Shields up. I'm in, man. I'm buying in.
It's football.
Yeah, it's football. That's exactly what it is.
And it's the offseason. It's kind of that dead zone. We're waiting for March Madness and the playoffs, the NBA playoffs.
Combine will start ramping up here soon. Yeah. So people don't get fucking freaked out if the Bengals haven't announced their draft pick before the Combine starts. Everybody take a deep breath.
And relax, too, when they take 9 minutes and 59 seconds to take it, to announce the pick.
That's going to happen.
And then 2 is taken.
Dude, the NFL draft is bringing players over on a boat. And it's going to break down at some point.
I like how
it's going to fuck up. Watch. Yeah. It's going to fuck up, and Joe Burrow's going to have to swim over.
I just want to know what high draft pick is going to just grow the balls and toss Roger Goodell into the water.
Lifetime
We
contract.
need Danny Shelton back, man.
Right?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
appreciate you guys for tuning in. Get with us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Same thing we say every week. Appreciate you guys tuning in.